Hi, I'm Linda Fanaras, host of B2B Brand180 podcast and CEO of Millennium Agency, and where we talk all about branding and growth strategies to help your business grow. So, before I get started, I just want to thank you for listening in today. And if you like what you hear, please hit like, share, or subscribe. Today, I'm excited to bring in Armando Leduc, a rising star in entertainment, captivating audiences. He is a performer and has been a performer and continues to be a performer in Hollywood and TV. And he has earned admiration throughout the years of his career. And he has a super busy schedule, but he loves to stay connected to his New Orleans roots and he supports the community. He's an artist. He's focused in on helping clients work through their customer journey and businesses and helping build that referral partner journey. So we're going to talk about a few different things today. So I'm excited to tie in a lot of different things. So Armando, I would love for you to speak a little bit about yourself, tell our audience, a little bit of your background.
Sure. I don't want to get too much into it because I really would love to build some value and make sure that when they hear this, they can take it and go, you know what, I could apply this to my business. But just to give you guys a little bit of background, I'm Army brat, grew up in Germany, moved to New Orleans to pursue my film and acting career. And I've done over 50 television and film projects. Decided I want to get behind the camera as well to tell stories because I love telling stories and writing scripts. And so I started my company, Leduc Entertainment, in 2016 and have been doing corporate, videos, but more along the lines of story based content and things that really move the needle forward and authority building and brand building and all of that through video specifically. So that's it in a
That's
nutshell.
that's great because having that film career and expertise and tying that into storytelling and video connects really great with our B2B audience. So I'm looking forward to talking a little bit about this. So I'll start with my first question that I had because I'd love to hear about some practical strategies that people or individuals can use to master that on-screen camera nervousness that they get or get over that nervousness and come across with confidence and have a strong presence. It could be even in virtual meetings, it could be in presentations, or it could be even on camera. Any thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that you have to really think about when you're on camera is getting away from your perception of yourself and more about what the message is that you're trying to convey and how you're helping. And if you can put it out there in that respect, it sort of takes the attention off of you. It's easy to say because I've also taken acting classes and been in improv classes. And if you really want to learn how to be irreverent and really let go and just be okay with who you are, I would take some improv classes. Like improv classes will really make you irreverent because you'll fail
Hmm.
and you'll be all right.
Right.
And you'll know that
Right.
you can die, right? And so you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna get on camera now and I'll speak my truth. And what's great about I love podcasting in general is because you're just answering questions, and that's what your
Right.
social media could be like. It just Q&A. You don't have to do dance videos, you don't have to do crazy things. You could just answer questions about what you know and about your truth and your experience. And when you think about those things, it's like I said, it sort of takes away from your nervousness and who you are and how am I being perceived and how if
Right.
I'm being judged, all of that stuff just kind of goes out the window when you realize it really doesn't matter. Life is short and you should speak your truth because it matters. Your opinion matters.
Yeah, that's great. They always say that speaking and flying are the two biggest fears, right? So if
Yeah.
you could take the focus off yourself and just focus on maybe what the message is and how you're gonna, what the communication is to your audience, that's important too. Which ties us into the storytelling piece because I know that's one of your strengths. Can you talk a little bit about how you may tackle storytelling? Any strategies behind that that you can share with our audience that you think would be helpful?
Sure. So when you're thinking about storyline and storytelling, you want to think about how are we setting it up? What's the setup? The backstory, right? Who are we following and why should we be following this person? And if you think about the protagonist in at in his space or her space, right? At work, at home, and at play. That's how they usually set up a movie, right? How is this person
Right.
operating at home? How are they operating at work, and how are they operating at play? Because they're different, right? How your
Right.
personalities change. Then what happens? The inciting incident, the thing that sets the movie in motion, the thing that changes their life, and now they have a choice
Right.
to make. They either make the decision to go on the journey or they don't. For movie's sake, they go on the journey, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
so the inciting incident happens, they go on the journey, and it's conflict after conflict after conflict after conflict, and it's the overcoming of those conflicts that keep us engaged. And, "Oh, how are they getting out of this one?" And, "Oh, how are they getting out of that one?" Because 'Cause you're never gonna see a movie where everything's going right. That would be a very boring movie. They
Right.
want to see right, at every turn, there's something happening. They've got to come up against something, someone, they're running away from something. There's always some sort of conflict. And if you think about when you're creating content and the story of how you overcame your obstacles and the things you've learned as a result, those
Hmm.
are things that are more interesting. When I'm doing my webinar, when I open my webinar off, I always
Right.
start with a backstory of let's meet Armando. He's in his 30s. He's an alcoholic. He's a pothead. He's broke. He has no direction in life. He doesn't know where he's going. He's broke. Did I mention he's broke? And so, and I set it up, right? So it's this guy
Right.
and he's the desire is that he wants something more from his life. I want to be I want to make my name proud and I want to have a family and I want a wife and kids. And if I continue along this path, I'm never going to get where I want to go. And so the old vehicle that I lived in was I was just trying everything out. I was a singer, I was an actor, I was a bartender. I've had over 75 jobs, by the way. I've had over
That's impressive.
75. Yeah, I don't know if it's impressive or if it's bad. It was just I wanted like I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that there was something there, right? And so then what happens is you get the call, right? The inciting
Right.
incident. Something happens to you that changes you. And so I moved to LA and I was sitting in a parking lot because I had this job called Jesco, and I would those infomercials where they're, like, showing you how to chop, a
Oh,
kitchen
yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was me. So I would do
That
this
was
infomercial. And I moved to LA to pursue my acting career, and I noticed that I was not pursuing my acting career. All I was doing was working. And I was, like, sitting in this parking lot just crying, feeling sorry for myself. And I said, "You know what? I wanna go home to New Orleans, and I wanna make a movie." And I knew that I could make the movie here. And it was called Bourbon Whiz. It was The Wizard of Oz meets Bourbon Street. And I came home and I filmed the movie. And I was like, I knew that I needed to finish this film, this independent film, so that I could get the credibility that I could finish a project, right? And I was like,
right.
"Oh, I'm gonna be a movie producer." Not gonna be a movie producer because there's no money in it unless you have, unless you have the connections. So,
Right.
I rebranded to Leduc Entertainment because
Hmm.
I knew that Sketchy Characters Productions wasn't gonna be it, right? But
Right.
that was the call. Then the guide comes in, your Obi-Wan Kenobi, the person that
Right.
guides you through this journey. And luckily, I grew up with a guy in Georgia who built an 8-figure law firm in
Okay.
Atlanta,
Okay.
like a $40 million law firm. And he saw what I was doing and he was like, "Oh, hey, I'm starting this new company called 8 Figure Firm, and I'm teaching attorneys how to scale their business to 8 figures." And I'm like, "That's awesome." He's like, "Can you
Right.
come and shoot content?" And I was like, "Great." So I went in, started shooting content. He showed me like the whole process. He's like, "Armando, you have a 7-figure business. You just don't know how to get there." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, $2,500 a month and I will mentor you. And I was like, "You kidding?" At that time, I was making like $20,000 a year. But, I was like, something had to change. I needed to do something. So I
Right.
did. I started mentoring with him, and, like, the first month I started working with him, I had a $30,000 month, and I grew my business to $500,000, and then I grew my business to 7 figures, and it was like, "Ah, okay, success leaves clues," you know?
Hmm.
And so now, as a result of learning and I had a guide and going through, I created
Right.
my own system, and now here we are on the outside of it. This is the achievement externally. Externally, making all this money, it's amazing. Internally, I grew confident as a
Right.
person. I'm happier.
Hmm.
I'm no longer an alcoholic. I'm no
Mhm.
longer doing drugs. I'm no, you know, I have a family, I have a daughter. I get to make my own schedule. I'm traveling where I want, you know, so that's the story. And so when you guys are thinking about story and when you're thinking about creating content, think about those that framework, right?
Right.
At work, at home, at play. What's the inciting incident? Who's your Obi-Wan Kenobi? How are you going, you know, what were the conflicts? What were the obstacles that you had to overcome? And then at the end, the achievement, not just externally, but internally, right? And if
Right.
you follow that framework every single time, when you're creating content, you'll keep people engaged. People are gonna they're, "Yeah,
Right.
great. Now
Right.
what?" And then what
Right.
happens?
To
People
bring
get caught up with tactics. They wanna
true.
share tactics, and tactics aren't something that, like,
Exciting.
people are going to remember, but if you can wrap the tactic in a story,
Mhm.
they will always remember it,
Mhm.
right? That's why fables work so well, right? Because
Right.
you know, the lesson of Goldilocks and the 3 bears, the lessons of all of those nursery rhymes, that's why they're ingrained in our heads because they're a lesson intertwined with a story.
And what I like about what you're saying is that I think when a lot of B2B companies go to create video, it is definitely more tactical, to the point, on the boring side. But what you're really saying is, hey, let's bring in that challenge, that barrier. How are we going to overcome it? Or it could be a conflict, to your point. And then how is that going to be? Who's going to come in and save the day? And how does that all work? So you're building that kind of emotional connection where
Yeah.
you wouldn't normally do that if you're just shooting a regular video. So you're building that storyline, and that all, honestly, it ties all back into just marketing and building that emotional journey and that emotional connection with your audience, because otherwise they're not going to remember it if you don't create that story around it.
Mhm.
So I like what you're saying, and I think it's important for our audience to really hear that, because it is easy, especially for B2B companies, to be very focused either on their company and how great they are, or their
Yeah.
products and what their features and benefits are. But really, how does that impact the audience? What are the pain points? What kind of scenarios does it create, and who can come in and save that? So those are all awesome. Those are all great points. So I love how you're putting that together. So I know you do a lot with the customer journey,
Yeah.
and I also building like referral partnership, because you've built obviously a successful business. I mean, I really love where you started, and now where you are today. And I could see how it's all tying together. But I'd love for you to speak a little bit about the customer journey, maybe the referral partner journey, making sure you keep clients happy, how all of that kind of comes together in a very succinct way.
Sure. Y'all, please take notes because if you implement
This
this,
is good. Mhm.
it will change your business, I promise. So, in one day, I lost $30,000 worth of revenue a month, like like that. And what happened was we scaled really quickly, very fast. We didn't really have our operations in order because we never mapped out what we call the customer journey, right? And it's how are we taking our clients from A to Z? What are the touch points in between? And as marketing folks, we work in the background a lot, but our clients don't necessarily know that we're working.
Right.
Right? They know and then at the end of the month, they're like, "What am I paying for?" Right?
Yep.
Like, "You're charging me $7,000 a month. What am I paying for?" So what we and that's what happened. We were starting to get bad reviews. Clients were leaving, they were
Hmm.
angry, they were confused, and so I had 2 choices to make. I could fire everybody, scale my business back down, or I could really grab my people and say, "Hey, we've got to sit down and we've got to map out our customer journey everywhere from leads coming into becoming clients, then the client journey itself, like how are we
Hmm.
delivering our deliverables, and then post client journey, like how are we doing surveys and making sure that we're doing a good job and how we can increase our customer service to A level." And so we did that. We mapped everything out. And at every single touch point, we have a video that they get throughout the process. So when we're in development of their content, they get
Hmm.
the we're in development for your content video and what that means. Then they get a pre-production video. Hey, we wrote out your scripts, we wrote out your topics. This is what we're doing right now. Here they are for approval. Hey, get ready for your shoot. This is what you're gonna need. Get a good night's rest. Don't drink alcohol, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
Here's the and that's a video. Then we get there, we give them a gift, right? Like, they get a
Okay.
gift every single time. Then the day after, they get, "What a great shoot" video. Then they
Mhm.
get another video, say, "Hey, we're in editing phase. Then here are your videos for you to look at," and then mission accomplished. And then we rinse and repeat.
Okay.
So what happened was, we started to implement that, and we would share these videos through email and text, not just email, because like, a lot of these people are busy, but they would get these videos through text, and now they know where they are in the process. It's like the Domino's pizza tracker. At n I did not have to chase them for money. All my invoices were paid right then and there. They knew exactly where they were. They knew exactly what they were paying for. The customers were super happy. We started getting higher referrals.
Mhm.
Retention rate went up. Revenue went up. And so it all because we mapped out the customer journey and we just informed people at every single point where they are and why we're justifying why they're spending the money
Right.
with us,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so here's the secret sauce. You've read the book, The 5 Love Languages, right?
Yes.
Okay. I said, "Why are we not incorporating the 5 love languages in our journey?" Right? Like, sure,
Mhm.
we're gonna tell you where you are in the process, the Domino's pizza tracker, but how are we really going to solidify our relationship? Because some people like gift giving, some people like
True.
quality time, some people like acts of service.
Admiration, yeah.
Words of affirmation, right? Even touch, right? Like I
Right.
have clients that love hugs. I'll tell you, the United States, America in general, they have this lack of like touch. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not,
Right.
there's not enough touch in our society. I come from Europe and Latin America where we kiss each other on the cheek and there's a lot of hugging. Here's not so much. So be careful with the touching. Make sure that it's all consensual. But
Right.
but at every point we said, "Hey, how can I create a list of acts of service for them? How can I create gift giving that matters to them?" Right? Like, who cares if I give you a gift that I don't give them swag that says Leduc Entertainment because nobody cares about that,
Right.
right? But,
Right.
like, a ticket to a ball game that they like, a ticket to a concert that they like. I invite them to golf, I invite them to dinner if they like quality time. I give them words of affirmation, "Oh my god, these videos that we've been making for you, you look amazing in it. Awesome job." I leave them testimonials, you know what I mean? Like, I try to comment on their posts, you know what I'm saying? So, like, at every point,
Right.
like, I'm infusing the 5 love languages. I'm telling you, the retention and the referrals go sky high. And now I'm able to upsell on other products because we're intentional about it. Like, we have a tracker that we go, "Okay, hit them with that, hit them with this, hit
Yeah.
them with this." It's not like I have to think about it. I have a tracker. Every week, I'm hitting them with a different touch point like that. And so I was like, "Huh, great. Clients is great, leads are great. But why am I not doing this for referral partners?" Because if referral partners can get you, I mean, off of one client, we
Mhm.
or referral partner, we have a $360,000 worth of business from one person. And like, we didn't do anything for him. We hadn't done anything for him. We took this guy for granted. I was like, "No, referral partners also have to have a tracker, and we also have to hit them in those ways. Are we leaving them reviews? Are we listening to their
Mhm.
webinar pitch? Are we referring them business? Are we doing this?" And then all of a sudden, we start getting more referrals. All of a sudden, things start happening. It's just like, wow, that was just incredible. So now everything that we do is just like super intentional according to the customer journey. And it's mapped out so that I don't have to do it. My team knows, hey, it's Monday, they get hit with this. Tuesday, they get hit with that. Wednesday, get the hit with this, and it's just like pop, 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 pop. Super intentional. It's not automated. And my COO is like, you need to automate this process. And I'm like, you're missing the point. You can't
Right.
automate, you can't automate love, connection, humanness.
Mhm.
You can't.
No, you can't. How do you know I mean, every person is different and each one has something that makes them tick. I mean, are you just hitting them with each one of the 5 love languages and saying, "Okay, well, today I'm gonna tell them how" you know, how great their post was. And then tomorrow I'm going to send them again. So you're just really rotating those love languages. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
correct.
Not really knowing, okay, this person likes gift giving. So,
You'll know after a month or 2 what
yeah, what
they
they,
like, because
yeah.
they will let you know. Like, "Oh my god, that"
Thank
if
you.
you've given them a gift and they're going on and on about it, then you know that that gift giving is their love language.
Right,
If
right.
words of if they really love words of affirmation, they will let you know, "Oh my god, you're so sweet. That was
Hmm.
so great." And then you'll give somebody words of affirmation and they won't respond, and you know.
Right.
You're like, "Yeah,
Right.
alright." They
No,
don't
that
really
didn't work.
care, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have to kinda cycle through enough times, but here's the thing, they still appreciate the touch point. Because
Right.
it's not I'm not touching them with, "Hey, here's another upsell. Hey, I want your money. Hey, can I
Mhm.
sell to you?" You know, it's like every time we reach out now, it's like, "Oh, what now?" You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
almost a surprise, you
Yeah.
know?
It's like you're giving them attention, the
Oh,
attention,
yeah.
is for is so I wanna back up a little bit because when you were talking about the different milestones and you would send them a video with, "Okay, hey, we did XYZ, here it is." Are you sending them like a Loom video or just a basic,
It's
you know,
pre-recorded.
w it's just a pre-recorded video?
Yeah, and, I mean, we're a video production company,
No,
we're
I know
very
it's
versed,
easy.
so
That's they could do a Loom
you
video or
could,
something like that.
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's even if it's just you, as a matter of fact, the happy birthday videos that I send
Mm,
are
mhm.
from my phone. They're not
Okay.
professionally done because I want it to feel like, "Hey, I thought about you. Hey, happy
Right.
birthday." You know what I mean? And then I also send out the referral request with their permission. I'll say, "Hey, Linda, I do you like our services?" "Sure." "Awesome. I know that if I put you on the spot right now and ask you for a referral, you
Mhm.
probably won't know anybody. But if
Right.
you don't mind, monthly, I might send you a video or a message saying, 'Hey, if you know anybody that needs our services, can I ask you?'" And you'll go, "Of course." And so
Right.
I send these videos out monthly and I'm like, "Hey, see, it's time for the monthly referral request. It's the lifeblood of any business. So if you know anybody," and they're like, "Yeah, so and so," So I make it more fun so it's not so awkward. But people forget. I think a lot of business owners, they're always on the hunt
Yeah.
for outside people that they forget about who they have in their pipeline. And
Right.
so if you cultivate those relationships, you can get referrals all day that are hot leads that so and so is vouching for you. So if they're vouching for you, the likelihood of you converting them into a customer is high instead of
Right.
trying to always be out there. Not to say that you shouldn't be prospecting. We prospect all the time. But if prospecting is all you're doing, you're missing out on like hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue.
Right. I mean, you think about it because I think you see owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople, they tend to be more on the hunter side. So they're always looking for the next new thing, person, whatever, rather than looking
Yeah,
back and saying, okay, whoever I already spoken to, what's already in the pipeline, who can I reconnect with? So it's a that's a great point. So before we go to the next question, I just want to take a moment and thank our audience for listening in today. And if you like what you heard, please hit like, share, subscribe. And what I wanted to ask you about incentivizing, or maybe, we talked about nurturing these partnerships, but is there a way to incentivize them so it's mutually beneficial for both parties? Have you thought about that, or have you ever instituted anything around that?
totally. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it's a 10%. Yeah, I got a 10% affiliate marketing, finder's fee thing. So whenever
Okay.
they send me a referral, yeah, I'm definitely paying them 10%. But I'm also thinking about like joint venture webinars and, things like that, that like, hey, how can I'm always thinking about how I can make them money. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm always thinking
Right.
about how can I bring them value, And so that way they're all like, I shower them with value, so referrals for them is like, "Oh my god, yeah, for sure, please," "You've done
Mhm.
so much." So I try to always be on the giving side.
The other area that's interesting on the partnership side is you can use customer referrals, but there's also opportunities where you have vendors and part or other types of partnerships that you could leverage as well. Have you done any work in that area? Do you capitalize on that at all? So let's say you have a vendor and maybe they're in a, you use them for some of your services. maybe building out partnerships or cooperative marketing strategies that can help build up our referral base that way.
Absolutely, yeah, so we have I've got an SEO guy that I refer business
Mhm.
to. I have a fractional COO, CFO that I refer business to. I have a fractional CMO that I send business to. I just met a girl that does online courses, like, she creates your online course, so I'm
Yep.
gonna start sending her business. I got a girl that writes books for you. She's a ghostwriter, so I send her
Okay.
business. So, yeah, I'm like, yeah, constantly,
And
you
then
know
obviously that comes back to help you too, because I'm assuming they're referring to you as well.
Yeah, I think it's all I like to think of it holistically in terms of, sure, we're gonna create content for you, we're gonna establish brand building, your videos, anything that you need on that front, like podcasting and
Mhm.
stuff, but then, like, what else, right? If we build you up to this authority, what
Right.
else are you gonna do? You gotta get a book, gotta be doing webinars, and you have to be doing online courses. Right?
Right.
And then you get podcast speaking engagements, and you get speaking engagements, and then you keep growing from there, but I always tell everybody, they everybody wants a shortcut. They just wanna
Mhm.
go to the ads. The ads, but they have no depth, right? Like, they just
Right.
wanna reach out with, but they have no depth. And so if somebody comes to do research on you and they don't see anything because you have no depth, then your credibility goes down. Doesn't matter how many
Right.
times I see you in an ad. I'm not gonna buy from you because I don't trust you. But
Right.
you have testimonials, you're active on social media, the videos look good, what you're saying matters, right? And then all builds up together brand
Mhm.
wise, and you explode. You exponentially grow your business.
And that was gonna be my next question because taking sort of organic content, whether it's podcasting, video casts, blogs, articles, turning that into revenue. How can our audience turn that into revenue? Is it just building it up organically, slowly? Do you have any strategies?
So here's the strategy. I called it content into clients. So what
Okay.
you wanna do is every month, you've gotta be if you can get to a post a day, a reel, right? Like video posts a day, I would do it and make sure that it's across all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, the whole nine. Be doing that on a consistent basis. One, it's going to reinforce who you are, right? So if you're telling me that you're the greatest at this and you're posting it, well, there's gonna be a disconnect if you're not. So what happens is you create the content that reinforces who you are, gives you the confidence. Your videos get better, you get better at doing video. Now you're building a brand. People are seeing you, they like you. I can't quantify organic social to a number because with ads you can go, "Hey, this many people saw your ad, this many people converted, this many blah 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 blah." But with brand building it's different because it's a long game,
Mhm.
but it's more powerful
Mhm.
because when you have the brand, that's when you can start commanding those 20, 30, $40,000 price tags, right? To go
Right.
speaking, to go do this. And so once again, I'm talking about depth. If you don't have
Mhm.
the depth and if you're not putting out, content where you're answering questions and people view you as the expert, your competition's going to take it. And so that's what I that the strategy is: create the content first, get yourself a podcast, invite people to it. I mean, Linda, you got it, right? Like, right? You bring people in, you get to
Mhm.
learn from other people.
Mhm.
You're building your brand with other people. You're tapping into their follower count and their subscribers. So it all starts working together in tandem.
Right.
And then once you have just a bank of videos, right?
Right.
Like at the end of 2024, would you rather have 300 videos or 10? Right? Like, of
Right.
course you wanna have 300. Of course. That's just,
Right.
that's how you're gonna get there. And so 2025, another set of videos. 2026, my mentor last year said, "Armando, I'm going hard on social media. I'm gonna start posting 3 to 7 times a day." And I was like, "Dude, that's crazy. What are you talking about?" And then this year, I'm like, why didn't I listen to him? Like, why didn't I listen to him? It's content. It's a volume game right now.
Right.
If you can crank out as many videos as possible, you will win.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Armando, I'd love for you to just tell our audience maybe a couple of top takeaways. We talked about a lot of different things: storytelling, how to be on camera, building a partnership, referral base. Any top tips for our audience just for takeaways? Then I'll ask you a fun question.
Sure, sure. I think that if you infuse the 5 love languages into your touch points with clients, with referral partners, you will grow your business really, really fast because referrals will come like naturally. It's crazy how immediate it will work. So if you're looking for quick ROI and you're like, I don't have the money for ad spend and to do videos and all of that, focus on the people that you know, create a tracker to like create these
Mhm,
touch points that are like love language based.
mhm.
You'll you you will you'll grow your business so fast.
That's awesome. And you wanna talk about your book?
Content into clients.
Yeah.
So I'm on a rewrite because I was doing tactics the first go round. Like the first ebook is all tactic based. It's all like, this is what you do. This is what you do. It wasn't wrapped in story. And so this time the second edition is wrapped in story. It's more about
Okay.
like, okay, how sure I'm gonna give you this tactic, but why does it matter? Right?
Right.
And how did people achieve the outcome as a result of
Mhm,
using that tactic, not just, "Hey, you need to do this." So
mhm.
so yeah, LeducEntertainment.com, and you can get a copy and super easy, and you can find me. I do webinars weekly too on
Okay,
content.
great. Great, great. And then last, just for fun before we sign off today, I know you were on Lords of the Street back in the day. We'll
Oh,
talk
back
a
in the
little we'll
day.
just share,
Oh, wow. That
anything you wanna share on that?
that movie was my first lead role, and I played the villain in the movie. Santiago Rodriguez was the guy's name.
Mhm.
I was a drug lord, and DMX was in the film. So many wild stories. Anyway, I can't get too crazy about all of the stories, but I will say at the end of the movie, there's a scene where DMX is supposed to shoot at me. He hits
Mhm.
a gas like valve or whatever, and then
Yeah.
and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're in the middle of like nowhere, Louisiana, at this airport, and he won't come out of his trailer because he doesn't have his medicine, his
Okay.
medicinal herbs, and we're like, "We just gotta get this shot, man." So somebody had to drive to New Orleans to get his medicinal stuff, brought it back, and then we finally got moving. So it was an interesting set, to say the least, when you're doing in like I wouldn't say it's indie film because there's
Mhm.
actors in there that are known, but they're not like A-list celebrities. They're more like,
Right.
D-list celebrities. So shortcuts get there's a lot of shortcuts. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things, but like it was my first big role. So I was
Yeah.
there for it. I was like, whatever you need me to do. I love it. I'm just
Um,
here.
I'm in, yeah, I'm here. That's
I'm so
awesome.
happy. Yeah. So it's a fun time. I view those times fondly.
Well, thanks so much, Armando. That was fantastic. You really gave a lot of great insights to the audience. So I would love for you to share how businesses can get in touch with you.
You can find me anywhere. Armando Leduc. I mean, if you Google me, I mean, it
There
like
you
like I
are.
said, there's a lot of depth. So Leduc Entertainment, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me on any of my social media platforms for any questions. That's why I love doing these podcasts because I get to meet a bunch of really cool people. So yeah, reach out to me. If I can help you,
That's great.
let me know.
Awesome. All right. So I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in today to our B2B Brand 180 podcast. And we hope that you found the insights and strategies shared to be valuable. And again, I'm Linda Fanaras, host of the B2B Brand 180 podcast and CEO of Millennium Agency. And you can find us at mill.agency or connect with me on LinkedIn. And again, just to help our channel grow, we'd love for you to hit like, share, or subscribe. Thanks again and happy marketing.